My fiance is a millionaire but I'm broke. I met my fiance 3 years ago. He came out of an abusive marriage just 2 years before we met. One of her abuses was financial. She bled him dry, made him buy expensive jewelry only to give it away or break it after an argument. Designer shoes, clothes, big house cars and Caribbean trips. She also took him to the cleaners in the divorce. However, my fiance is very well off. He makes far over 6 figures and on top of that he inherited a few millions from his grandfather and his parents gifted him and his siblings also a few cool millions. He has more money than he will ever need. So last year I moved into his house. I pay half the rent but I split the bills and buy food. I pay for my own clothes and jewelry. However, things have been taking a turn for the worse and I feel miserable. His house was empty when I moved in. He had hand-me-down furniture which was torn and a couch was even infested with maggots. The cleaning crew took 2 days to get it out and I even paid for it. Maybe 3 forks and 2 knives in total. Not a single spoon. He wouldn't put on the heating so the house felt cold and moldy. He has no curtains, no decorations. His ex took everything not bolted down and he was too cheap to replace it. I am grateful that I can live in his house. It is something I could never afford myself, but I didn't want to live in squalor. So I bought some kitchen supplies, some furniture. But at some point I realized I was dipping in my savings all the time and he did nothing. I looked into curtains but those things are expensive. His house has so many windows it is crazy. I didn't want to pay for this anymore. I told him I needed a fund to furnish his house. He blew up at me that I was just with him for his money and threatened to lay hands on me if I ever acted like a spoiled gold digger again. I pointed out all the money I spent on his house, the gifts and the trips because he pays for nothing ever, because he wants to be sure I am not here for the money. The fact is, if we break up I have nothing. The house is not mine. If I spend all my savings on his house I will be left with absolutely nothing. He wants a prenup and I am fine with that, but I can't help but feel used. Next to that I am jealous of his ex-wife. I feel like she got treated and I am neglected. He proposed to his ex on a cruise with a $10,000 white gold diamond ring. I got a ring worth $75. The proposal was at a picnic in the park I organized, paid for the groceries for and worked in the kitchen for. I almost said no out of pure disappointment. However, I am afraid to bring it up and to be called a gold digger.